Hi, it's Dwyer. GamblersAdvisory.com, DwyerVIP.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. It is early July 2012. I'm starting to get prepared for the football season coming up here in the United States, NFL football. And, of course, I make predictions here online in boxing. Now, every time I make a video that gets a decent number of views, someone always comes out of the woodwork and asks me where they should bet online, right? And that person, more times than not, is from the United States, where, quite frankly, the legality of betting online carries a lot of risk and is questionable. Well, let's talk about online gaming in the United States. But viewers should know that when I make my videos, they're really intended for people who are either going to Las Vegas to place their action or who are in a jurisdiction, Europe for example, the United Kingdom, where online gaming is legal, right? Don't assume that I'm encouraging, aiding, or abetting anyone into committing crimes of any type. Okay, YouTube is global. There are places globally where you can bet legally. Now let's talk about the United States and let's talk about online gaming. Now, in my opinion, the biggest casino in the world is on Wall Street. Today, as I make this video, billions will be won and billions will be lost on the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange, right? If you short stocks, just understand that your downside risk is unlimited, right? That stock could go from here to infinity. There is no sports bet, in my opinion, that is as unprotected. Nonetheless, the powers that be in society, the squares among us, seem to have an axe to grind with people who bet on sports. Right now, quite frankly, I think that axe is unwarranted, but if you're in the United States, you need to become familiar with the Unlawful Internet Gambling Enforcement Act of 2006. Ironically, pushed through by a Republican president, right? You would think they would be free market. But this act really is dangerous for gamblers, because understand that under this act, the federal government can literally go in and go after not just the entity who is operating the online casino, but they could even do the kind of things they did in June 2009, where the Department of Justice seized over $34 million belonging to 27,000 accounts in an action that the Southern District of New York brought against online poker players, right, to literally impound that money. In other words, if you're a gambler gambling online in the United States, you literally run the risk of having the government take whatever money is in your online account. You need to know that risk going in if you're engaging in those activities, right? Let me also point out too that in the United States you cannot rely on just reviewing federal law. You need to also be careful in reviewing state law, the law of the state in which you reside. Because understand, different states have different laws. The United States is actually a republic, and certain states, notably Louisiana, literally can send you up the creek without a paddle if you're caught engaging in online gaming, right? Let me tell you some of what's been happening in terms of prosecutions on online gaming. In April of 2011, you actually had a lawsuit, U.S. versus Scheinberg, where 3 online poker companies were indicted for literally engaging in financial transactions related to online gaming. Right? According to the federal government, if you donate to an online gaming site and the bank spoofs the transaction, right? Because of course the bank doesn't want to say, we're processing this credit card so that the casino can engage in online gaming. Rather, what some of these financial institutions do is they will literally, take the credit card information and then they will spoof the transaction so that it looks on your bill like you've bought a toaster, or you've bought merchandise, or you've bought clothing, or what have you, right? Anything other than make a deposit for an online gaming transaction. Well, just understand that as recently as last year, our Department of Justice has been aggressively going after online poker companies for engaging in financial transactions. The federal government's focus is really on penalizing those running gambling businesses, not on those actually doing the gambling. But of course, if you're a gambler, right, the federal government can literally take whatever money that you have in an online gaming account. So if you're one of my viewers and you have tens of thousands of dollars or thousands of dollars or pounds or what have you in a online gaming outfit that's located in some exotic location like Costa Rica or Antigua or Canada, then you just need to think about how you may want to withdraw at least a portion of your money, because your money's never going to be safer than in your own bank account, right? You need to view whatever money you have with an offshore online gaming outfit as being at risk of being impounded by the federal government. You'll notice too that many of these websites have been under such pressure that they've literally been changing their name and changing their URL, right? Some used to be .com, now they're .eu, etc., etc. So you need to pay attention to that, right? Now, let me go further. There is a way to bet legally online in the United States. And again, it's a creature of state law. You have to do so in the state of Nevada, right? Now, I don't have any stock in this company, but your best source for information on how to bet online in the state of Nevada after setting up an account at a casino that allows online betting can be found at cantorgaming.com. It's cantorgaming.com. Right now, the way it works and the system is far from perfect, right? Las Vegas casinos are evolving. They're constantly trying to improve their products. They are a work in progress when it comes to an online presence. But the way it works is, at least with regard to cantorgaming.com's products, is Cantor Gaming operates the sports books at the Palms Casino, the Venetian Casino, Tropicana Casino, M Casino, Cosmopolitan Casino, and the Hard Rock Casino, right? What you do is you go to these casinos, you sign up, you make a deposit into an account, right? They give you the necessary information where you can sync your Android phone or your iPhone, right, to your account, or your iPad or Android tablet to your account, where you literally then are able to, whether you're at the casino or not, as long as you're in the state of Nevada, you're actually able to place not only action on games with very competitive odds, but you're even able to place action on the game while the game is happening, right? This is the live betting feature that is prominently featured, quite frankly, with online sports books. If you don't know, there's been a revolution in sports betting recently that actually now allows you, per pitch in baseball, per play in football, right? Literally moving lines while the game is going on, even in basketball, that literally allows you to bet on outcomes, whether a pitch will be a ball or a strike, whether the batter will get a hit, who will score the next run in a game, right? Today's technology actually allows you to make those bets in the game. And Cantor Gaming's system actually allows those sophisticated bets. Let me just say, though, that the system has drawbacks. In other words, if I open an account with the Palms Casino, which, if you're a Vegas person, you know is just a little bit off the Las Vegas Strip, and then I happen to be partying on the Strip at the Cosmopolitan, and I see that my bet has come through. Let's say the New York Mets have magically won the game, and I'm thrilled. I cannot literally go to the Cosmopolitan Sportsbook and cash out. In other words, to cash out my online account, I literally have to go back to the casino where I opened the account. In other words, these online accounts are literally tethered to the casino at which you open the account, right? If I want to just let it ride and keep the money in my account, I'm free to do that. Here's the problem. If you're not a resident of the state of Nevada, then as you leave the state, believe it or not, you lose the ability to actually continue betting on your account. Your system, and this is 2012, literally is linked to GPS. So you're only able to bet when you're in the state of Nevada online. If you open a Cantor Gaming account, right? Nevada's very shrewd. They allow you to bet online as long as you're physically in the state. If you're outside of the state, then you're out of luck. Now let's talk about the benefits of betting online in Nevada. First of all, you can skip the line, right? You show up to some of these sports books, especially during big sporting events, and there'll be 20 guys in line waiting to bet on the Super Bowl, right? You can imagine, too, that if news breaks, if you find out that, Peyton Manning is going to miss the game, Adrian Peterson is going to miss the game, you can imagine how many guys, as soon as that news breaks, will leap out of their seats, run to the front, and try to stand in line. If you have an online account that's just on your iPhone or your Android phone, you can literally just pull up the Cantor Gaming app, punch in your ID, your account will come up, all the betting options will come up. In fact, more betting options will come up than are listed on the board at the front of the casino. And you can literally just punch in your bet. Let me go further. Cantor has set up sports books now where you literally sitting in your seat, especially at the Palms Casino. Great sports book, by the way. They've updated that sports book tremendously. It's excellent. But sitting at your seat, you literally have a couple of monitors in front of you. And if you have one of these Cantor gaming accounts, you can literally not only watch a host of horse races or, sporting events on one monitor, but on the other monitor, you actually can, just like you could on an iPad, pull up your account, you'll see it on the monitor, and then you can make the bets that you need to make at the casino, right? In other words, they have changed the sports book where now everyone gets a built-in computer. The computer is built in to the little cubicle in which you're sitting, right? And the action is taking place in your cubicle as opposed to the way sports books used to be, where you would get up, stand in line, wait to place a bet. Let me point out, though, that at these sports books that I've mentioned, right, Palms, Venetian, Tropicana, M, Cosmopolitan, and Hard Rock, you don't need a Cantor account to place a bet. You can, if you're old school, just show up at the sports book. Some people like anonymity, right, who actually wants an account with your name on it where you're making bets. Some people prefer to just show up in Vegas with a bankroll anonymously. Vegas, believe it or not, accepts cash, and just go to the counter and anonymously make bets and, of course, monitor their betting activities independently for IRS purposes. I don't blame those folks. You can still do that at the sports books that I have just mentioned. Right now, let's hope sanity prevails in the United States, where eventually Cantor Gaming is able to go nationally. But right now, unfortunately, you can only bet 100% legally online in the state of Nevada. Let me also point out, too, that there's much less risk in doing so, because you know that you have the good faith of the casino behind the bet. In other words, I know when I go to the Venetian and I, am placing a bet after opening an online account at the Venetian, I know that when I win the bet, chances are greater that the Venetian is going to be there tomorrow than some offshore sports book that has had to change their URL several times, right? So there are certain benefits, particularly if you're a heavy sports bettor, and you need to know that the $10 or $15 or $20,000 that you've just placed on an event will actually be paid off, and that the money in your account is safe. Then, of course, betting online in the state of Nevada is actually, in my opinion, a safer option than betting with an offshore sports book. Let me also make another point, too. Whether you open an online account in the state of Nevada or not, just understand that the internet is your friend. If you're a traditional old school bettor, just understand that now, free of cost, on sites like covers.com, covers.com, you can actually get the odds from several Las Vegas casinos all in one place. In other words, this is a little bit different than oddschecker.com, where you get the odds from several online books in one place in the United Kingdom, and that's a great resource for Americans too, just to see what the odds are. But if you're walking around Las Vegas and you want to make sure that you're getting the best prices, I would recommend that you consider going to covers.com and doing your research, and you have to research bets, right? Don't go to the window until you've researched the play. Just go to covers.com, pull up the matchup feature for the game you are thinking about betting on, and then look at the right side of the screen. You'll see a list of casinos, and they'll give you an idea on what odds they're offering for that particular game. You'll also get an opportunity to look at the opening line and the closing line. Okay, so I hope that's helped shed some light. My advice is simply to always think about the solvency of the casino with which you're placing the bet. And also in the United States, Make sure you research your own state law because there is variance. Don't be suckered into believing that the feds are not coming after individual gamblers, right? When your state also has jurisdiction over you. And finally, you need to keep in mind, everyone says it's not going to happen to me. You need to keep in mind that there are thousands of bettors who bet online in offshore books who literally got their account impounded. Literally, the Department of Justice in 2009 impounded $34 million belonging to 27,000 accounts in an outfit called Online Poker Players. Right? You need to be aware of that risk. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments for me here online, and of course visit us at gamblersadvisory.com and dwyervip.com. Thanks for stopping by.